Hey there, it's Carolyn from Homesteading Family, and welcome back to my series on household management and how to run a busy, productive home and to keep it running smoothly. And sometimes that can be a real challenge, especially if you have a lot of people in and out of the house, or maybe you find yourself right now in this special time of history at home with people there all day that in a way that's not normal. Maybe people are off at school normally, or they're out at work normally, and now you're trying to figure out how to get a house to run with everybody home all day. Today, we are going to be talking about the element of keeping your house running even in the middle of busyness and maybe a chaotic schedule, or when things go not as planned. We're going to be talking about something that we call daily chores in our house. Now, daily chores is just a term we use, and it is a term that we use for chores that are different for each person every single day of the week. Now, this is that one place where we have rotating chores. If you've been following along with this series, you'll know that we have multiple times a day where we do chores. We have morning chores and we have evening chores. And those are both times where the chore is the exact same for every person every day of the week. That way we know what to expect, and we can really follow up with consistency on that. That's really important if you're dealing with things like feeding animals or basic animal care. It needs to be consistent, and the same person needs to be doing it over and over again to get a feel for the job and get a feel for any changes in the health of the animal from day to day. This is a different type of chore set. This is the type of chore where every single day, everybody has a different chore. So when I set up daily chores, the thing that I do is I make a list of everything that needs to get done to keep the house running on a regular basis. Let's see, I have a list that says things like the stairs to the upstairs needs to be swept about twice a week to make sure that it's in good condition and staying nicely taken care of. On that list, I know that certain meals need to be made a couple times a day. We talk a lot about my make-ahead breakfast casseroles that I use. The daily chores are times during the week where one person is responsible to make multiple casseroles, breakfast casseroles, to get us through the week. A different day, another person makes a different type of casserole. Other things that keep the house running are things like regular bread baking. That doesn't take very long once you get your system up, and the active time for making bread is really less than about 20 to 25 minutes if you're making about 6 loaves at a time. So, that's something that fits right into the daily flow of daily chores. So what I do is I take a sheet and I just list all of those chores that just have to get done throughout the week. And I make it end up so that if those chores are getting done, at least the house is staying decent. It's staying pretty clean. It's that the refrigerator and the shelves are staying pretty stocked, and we're pretty sure we're going to have food that is prepared and ready to go. It may not be an ideal, perfect state, but it's going to keep our house moving. Now, this is so crucial for those busy times a year when you don't really end up having a day to throw at keeping your house clean or cleaning it all the way. This is really true in the spring rush when we're planting gardens and we have baby animals all over the place. Maybe the cow is calving and we have fresh milk coming in the many gallons a day. That is a very busy time where we often don't have time to focus on other elements of regular house care. But as long as the daily chores are getting done every single day, I know that the house is going to keep running and keep functioning on a pretty good basis. So once I make out that list of all the things that need to be done, I assign them to different people throughout the week. So what that looks like is I go down my list and I think of the youngest person who can efficiently do a chore. So maybe it's the 7-year-old that can sweep the stairs. And then I put it on their schedule for, 1 day a week or 2 days a week for certain days. Now, if you have enough people in your household, this can get to be a bit of a logic problem to make sure things follow the right order, and make sure you're not making a mess out of an area that somebody else just cleaned, or that you're making sure you have meals made properly on the day before you need them, but you don't have too many people trying to work in the kitchen at the same time. So it's a little bit of a logic puzzle just to figure out on paper. But once I get that figured out and I get a different chore for each person for each day of the week, except for Sunday, we usually rest on Sunday, then I try out my system for about 2 weeks. I just keep it in pencil. I don't type it up on the computer yet. I don't put it in ink. That way I can make adjustments where things just aren't working. After about a 2-week trial of that, then I go ahead and I solidify those daily chores. And we stay with those daily chores for at least 6 months so that people can really get the hang of what they're doing and they know what's expected of them every day. Now, most of the time, Mama has daily chores too, and I put myself into that list of something that I need to do during that daily chore slot that's going to help keep the household running. That really depends on the adults in the home and if they will be around, if they'll be available during that time. Or if you have all young children, you may just need to be supervising during the daily chore time instead of doing a chore all by yourself. You may have to train people and be walking through their jobs with them. So you may need to have that time slot open yourself. Wherever possible, if you have children that are trained on their chores and can work independently, then it's great for you to have your own chores in the schedule so that you can be working alongside of them and modeling good chore working attitudes and behavior to your children. If you implement this one type of chore in your house and nothing else, this is going to drastically change the way your household runs. It's going to start running by itself. It's going to be amazing, and it will give you a lot of peace and a lot of rest at the end of the day when you know the basics have been taken care of. Now, we tend to do this chore right after breakfast, and in fact, we include breakfast cleanup dishes into that, and 1 or 2 people have breakfast cleanup as their daily chore every day of the week, but it rotates through. So it's a different person every week or every day of the week. This just keeps a little bit of freshness, a little bit of interest in what you're doing, and it also gives you a place to get those things done that don't need to be done daily, like a chore that gets done every single day regardless. So it can really help you just take care of those outer edges of your home that might get forgotten on a day-to-day basis. A great thing to put in here is a refrigerator clean out. Have an older child clean out the refrigerator once a week. Maybe it's a pantry tidy that would go in here really well. There are so many different things. Cleaning the laundry area is one that is very important to our household to keep that laundry area tidied, the machines themselves cleaned up and dusted, the floor around the laundry area clean. Things like that can be so helpful to have them done once a week or twice a week in a daily chore fashion. So try it out, give it a try, and I bet it's going to help you out a ton.